at this.
Okay, what's up?
What's going on?
Man, I really expect this to be a little bit easier. Okay.
Yeah. Is it, you know? So I'm here with Santiago, Joey, and this is the travel thing. Travel thing.
Travel thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just basically, we talk about traveling, traveling, everything traveling.
Yeah.
Traveling is from here to there, so whatever.
So whatever it is.
Whatever.
So I usually try to like travel. For me, it's like a really interesting thing because a lot of people kind of assume like, oh yeah, when I want to travel, you like leave your state or like you have to leave a city. You have to like really like push a boundary and like really get yourself as far as you can.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. So a lot of people are like, man, I really want to save money to travel, and I'm like, dude, like you can literally like go down like a beach road or something like that, and like just like find like, for example, me, like I have to do photo shoots, right?
Oh,
and so I find like I go to a city here in Florida is Delray Beach, and they have a beautiful downtown. I think it's one of the best. And what I think is really interesting is that they have a lot of like crossing intersections. So like a lot of it is residential, and then there's like random like businesses standing. And so I'll go to like I'll go to like random streets, and we'll just kind of look and we'll see what's interesting, and we'll find like a stupid tea house here.
Just take pictures?
Yeah, and we'll just take pictures, and that to me really is traveling, and it's something that like the most expensive part is paying for gas. You know, it's like really getting there.
True.
And it's interesting. You don't like I don't leave, you know, my own city. I mean I live there in Delray, and I've lived there for a year, and I still find new stuff all the time. You know what I mean? Like I'll be walking down the beach, and all of a sudden down like where like all like, you know, all like the plants would be, and also there's like a little opening, right? And or there's like somebody sitting there with their blanket, and I'm just like, wow, like I never would have thought to walk out into the middle of like a little beaten area and just like sit down there, like to take a picture.
Right.
You always just assume, oh, the beach is just the sand and the water, but there's always so much more, and there's like, you know, the people that you can talk to, other people that you can meet. That's another huge part. You know, I mean, I've also traveled to different places, you know, to New York, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee.
Yeah.
And every time I'm amazed by how different the people are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here in Florida, for example, I'm really accustomed to people being like assholes. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I have like all the time. Like if I bump into somebody at the like at the supermarket, and I'll be like, "Oh, sorry." They go, "Okay." When I went to Tennessee, absolutely opposite experience. You know, there's like sorry being extended on both parties, and you'll have like a little conversation, be like, "Hey, you know, I'm just looking for this," and they'll be like, "Oh, haha, you know, my son loves that," whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like those little things that you don't expect. Or like in New York, there's so much like diversity, for example, you know, and there's always something new to do, always like a new place to go. So like, yeah, like that kind of stuff is cool, and it's awesome to go out and find it, you know, in a different state, or find it 2,000 miles away. But I mean, it's like 20 miles away right here. I could go find like a new restaurant and be like, whoa, like they have amazing this or amazing that. You know?
Right. Yeah.
And it's something that
people are usually nicer in the South, but Florida is not real South.
Yeah.
They're not Southern.
It's funny, like the more north you go in Florida, the more southern you get. You know what I mean?
That's so true, man. Like Gainesville, like that's super Southern.
That's super Southern.
So now back to this. So like, what was the most, maybe like one of the most unique experiences that you can remember right now, that you can tell us that you had when you were traveling? Like, what was one place that you went?
Okay, so this is something that I really thought was like, it blew my mind. Is really what it was, and it's something that you would see almost like out of a fairy tale. It was like Willy Wonka type stuff. And it's, you know, when Hurricane Irma blew through, we decided to, you know, go out to Tennessee, and we were like, you know, we might as well escape, and while we're there, visit somewhere new. And so we decided to go to Tennessee, and Tennessee is great. You know, they have more wildlife. What would be more like mountainous, and not really more like hill area. And there's a lot of hiking, which here we don't find at all. So we ended up going on this hike. And while we're hiking, I end up kind of seeing like a path kind of like splits off, and it's kind of like confusing, you know, for me. Like I don't do it. I'm like, man, like where do we go? And so then you can see the plaques like that show you where to go, and I'm like, well, you know, there's obviously a path here for some reason. Right. So I told my family and everybody, and we're like, hey, we'll just take this path. And as we're going off this path, you start to hear like water, like roaring, rushing water. So I'm like, cool, there's gonna be like a river or something. And when we get out there, it was it was beautiful. It's like something like I tried to take pictures, and there's no way that I was able to like capture and like show you what it was that I could see. It was like right off to your left would be like just like a nice like waterfall, and it was all the water coming through, and right across from where we were, I'd say probably like a mile. Like that's how long like the river, whatever it is, or lake that you would call it. There's people. That's where the beach is, and there was people like jet skiing or like doing the what's it called, the water skis, and it's just all around you. So like we're like on like stepping on like these huge rock boulders that are sitting there, and all around you see like all these different plants, these flowers, and it's just all the water, and it was something like amazing. It's just something like you could see like all like the mountains behind everything else, and there was just like all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's something in Florida I would absolutely never find. Florida's really flat.
Right.
And I mean, I've been, like I said, like to New York and North Carolina, South Carolina, and there's all these very similar places, but it was nothing like that. Like it was
What's
literally
funny?
breathtaking.
I really didn't understand like a lot of what you said.
Yeah.
But I felt your energy.
Yeah.
Like I was like, he sounds very excited, and I
Yeah.
enjoy that, like the energy.
Yeah.
But I really didn't understand like what exactly you saw in Tennessee. Like what was it? Oh, that's it. We're
hold
done.
on. This is 6. I got off at what? 5:10. So 5:30. Okay.
But you got a 15?
I got 30 minutes. But I got
Oh,
like
30
6 minutes out. Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll edit this part out.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Well, of course.
Okay, so what it was that I was seeing. So we're hiking, and kind of off to the right, there's like a beaten path, is what you would call it, where it's not actually like a little road that you can take, like an area. It's just kind of people stepped off that way, and because they're stepping, it kind of crushes everything else. So it's not clear. It's just visible. Like you can like notice it, but if you were just running through, you would never see it.
Okay.
And so we decided to go down there just to see what it is that other people might be seeing, or like why somebody would have stepped off that way. And so as we're stepping off, I start to hear water
So
like
you went
rushing.
you went on this hike,
Yeah,
and like you were on a hill,
yeah,
and then like you just saw like all these you saw all this recreation, like water, nature.
yeah.
You were
So
looking-
here's the thing. What was cool about it is that it wasn't like a set park. It wasn't somewhere that like you would see other cars. It was just like one person that like went by, and that's all it was. So we're walking off, and like I said, I hear the water, and as we're coming, literally as we're moving like across the trail, we get to the river, right? So like we're walking alongside the river, this one kind of stepping from rock to rock and moving through. And I start to hear like rushing water. When we get to the end of it, there ends up being like in front of us like a huge waterfall, and then off to the other side, kind of like a mile, that like off to the left, basically from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
It was it was just like a beach almost, and it was just rock, and it was super like interesting. Did you purposely want it closer? Or, like, did you want it closer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
just for the last shot. So and then
I'm watching this waterfall, and literally like somebody's like with their water, like the boat, and then the person on the water skis behind them, like goes like in front of the waterfall, like going towards wherever it is that they're doing.
Right there, yeah.
Okay, so then they end up moving like from, as I'm looking at the waterfall, on the left is like a beach, and it's all rocks, and it's all just kind of not really seen. It's just kind of plants, like it's weird. And there's river like extending like from either part, and somebody all of a sudden on a boat, and the water skis behind them just kind of jets across. So me and my family were all kind of like breathtaking, we kind of laughed because it's something that you see in a movie where like you step out of the forest, and all of a sudden there's like this paradise, and there's like the birds flying over, and like the light coming through the trees, and like that's really what it was. And it was one of the most unique experiences, and we got to we started jumping in the water. We just started kind of playing around, and I'm sure you can find videos online where people like stack the rocks, and it's like all like the really weird shaped rocks. We did that, and that was super cool. So that's, I think, one of the best experiences, was just randomly kind of getting off the track and finding the waterfall.
Okay, and then maybe in 30 seconds, because you got to go back.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Difficult experience you had while you were on the road.
Okay, cool. So difficult experiences. Me, I prefer to drive everywhere instead of flying, because I feel like I get to see a lot of other things, and I get to see more people, and I like to experience that kind of stuff. So I guess you could say maybe like traffic, or like enduring the travel. A flight to like here to California might be only like 2 hours, but like driving there could take me 2 days. And even though it's long and you have to sit there and endure all the driving and how like boring it gets, it really is awesome to like experience it with other people and like take those 2 days to meet new people and do new things. So.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So this is Santiago. He's not from Chile.
No,
He's
from Argentina.
Ah.
Represent.
Ah. All right.
All right.
So thank you for.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right,
Let's
cool.
do it. Let's do it. Hi. All right.
All right, cool. I gotta go back though.
Thanks, man.